Welcome to Backyards and Bevvies. Grab your favorite bevy, pull up a chair, and enjoy the ride. Hey, B&B fam. This podcast is sponsored to you by BetterHelp, H-E-L-P. Is there something getting in the way of your happiness? I know when I traveled the world, I had many days where BetterHelp's worldwide service of licensed professional therapists could have helped me speak to someone no matter where I was in the world about whatever was happening in my life, and with zero judgment. With their ability to match me with a therapist that best fits me, I know my mental health would have been way better back then. Believe me, I needed it. But I'm here to share a way for you to take back control of your mental health by telling you about BetterHelp's awesome services they have for you to talk with a pro about your life through their app or just online. Whether it is a video session or some simple messaging, their team is here to help. I went to check out the app for myself just to see how easy it was to use, and after a series of questions, I was told I would be able to start matching with a therapist in under 48 hours. And what is super rad is that it's affordable and they even offer financial aid too. So come join the 2 million users that have already been helped and gain back control of your mental health by visiting betterhelp.com/backyards for 10% off your first month. Remember, BetterHelp is therapy done securely online. Don't forget to use the special code BACKYARDS and let BetterHelp, H-E-L-P, help you to start living a happier life today. All right, Backyards and Bevvies. We are here. It is fall. Well, it's almost Thanksgiving, man. We are, I guess October. So we're rolling into Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. And I decided that it was going to be awesome to bring my boy Wilson. He owns a gym. He's also a personal trainer and wears so many other hats that we're going to get to. But Wilson, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Dude, this is awesome. We have known each other for going on probably like 7-ish years, 8-ish years on and off.
And somewhere around that way. Yeah.
We toured together. Though we didn't ride the same bus or really spend too much time during the day together, we actually crossed paths a lot of times. Yeah, I used to come and work out with you on the road.
Yeah, we would run into each other a good bit, you know. I see Phil, Phil's always, I felt like he was the one getting all the steps in, every day in each arena, amphitheater, from even maybe a couple stadiums that we did together. So, yeah.
I have done stairs in more venues around the world than probably any other roadie.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to put that to a bet. But it's hard on the road. There's, you're surrounded by opulence. You have nothing but food on the bus, in catering, in the dressing room, any drink that you want, sugar drink, alcohol drink, anything, So staying fit on the road is a real thing, I mean, well, it's a real thing in life in general, but
yeah, for sure.
But when you're surrounded by millions of fans, you're on TV or you're on the big screen. You want to look good, so like your job out there was pretty important.
Yeah. I tried to do my best, and the Lord blessed me with a nice set of skill sets to try to work in to help people to be their best at what they were doing and how they were presented. Within mass amount of people. So
that is an awesome blessing to have. And so where before we get into exactly some of those awesome regiments that you had, because I've been on a few different tours where people have personal trainers, and because it really is helpful, because the day is filled with you got to go do press, or you got to go do rehearsals, and so you don't really have time to dedicate yourself to looking up how to do it, or you can't really leave either to go to a gym. You can't. There's just a lot of other restraints.
We might talk about a little bit of that too, talking about leaving and going to a gym too. Later on, maybe within this show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do have a gym here in Nashville that people should check out when they are here.
Yeah, we can do that too.
So where are you from though?
I'm from Nashville, born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee.
Unicorn.
Yeah, I think that's what they call it these days. Unicorn. But yeah, then
everybody's transplants. Yeah, everybody's from somewhere else, right?
And yeah, I'm from Nashville, Woodbine to be exact.
Okay.
So, Yeah, that's where I grew up at,
That's
all
awesome.
my life.
High school, middle school, elementary, everything was here.
Yeah, everything was here. And I guess my mom, kind of when I was growing up, she thought she'd see fit of sending me to school where she found the best teachers at. So I tapped in a lot of areas around Nashville. So,
okay.
Very, if you will say, diverse of the city, so I've been all around Nashville. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Did you, it was funny when you rolled up here, you were like, I know your neighbor. I went to school with him.
Yeah.
It's just a small world. We toured together for, like I said, quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
Little did we ever think that you were going to get to my house and be like, oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, right across the street. I'm like, dang.
So it is a small world.
It is a small world.
And
wow.
Nashville, being the big place that it is actually a pretty small community, And so, growing up here, seeing it change, I mean, that has to be pretty wild, too.
Yeah, we used to call it the little big city, kind of growing up, because it was like you had everything that was just like you had a city that was, popular for like music stuff. We called it Music City.
Yeah.
But it wasn't really like a thing that was like happening all the time. Like a lot of people when I was growing up, they wanted to go, all right, to go do something. We're gonna go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Let's go to New York. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. So, but now you kind of see it how it's evolved into the place it has now. It's really. It's wild to see, It's wild to see being from here.
Being this is your town, it's kind of cool that you've established yourself as a business owner here, too. Because as the city grows, it's awesome that they're not just taking, these big corporations and bringing them in. They're all, little business thrives here.
Yeah.
I think it's actually probably pretty cool for other people to come in and see these other establishments. So to be a Nashville resident, not only live here, grow up here, and then, plant your roots here still and not run away to another city. And then now you're like, cool, I'm going to start my own business.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's awesome, too.
Yeah, it was just, man, I've been presented with a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different blessings, and so it was like, all right, how do you, capitalize, on that? So that's
100%.
always kind of been, my biggest thing is to, whatever you have presented with you at your feet, just try to, continue to move it and progress it as much as you can.
Yeah.
And,
I think that's the keys. You got to step forward each day, and like you said, the Lord blessed you with something. So you should take that blessing and go as far as you can with it. There's a lot of people, I think, cap themselves, even with working out a lot. And you could probably see this, someone's like, oh, I can't lift that. You're like, no, you can.
Yeah.
It's mind over matter a lot of times. You put your mind to it. You can do damn near anything.
Yeah, a lot of times it's, within training your body, within life is more so as a lot of want to.
Yeah,
like if you want to or not.
Yeah. Did you wake up today?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to get in shape, or do you just want to say you want to get in shape?
Yeah. So it's like, all right, do you want to kind of go in here and do a little, all right.
Easy session, or you want to sweat it out?
Yeah, I mean, and in some days too, it's not saying that like within training, like every day it's just like a run you in the dirt type of day, which is, if you're doing that, you're probably not, seeing a lot of, results that you probably want to, because your body needs time to, recover and things of that sort. And you can't run
to the ground.
You can't run yourself in the ground like every day. It's not healthy.
No, I got that. So when you have this, how did you ever think that you would have a gym? Have you been into working out your whole life?
No.
No. All right.
No.
So this is something that kind of. When did Wilson get into working out?
It probably took a shift. Probably when I got in college more so.
Okay. Where'd you go to college?
So I went to college at 3 different schools and played football at 3 different schools in college. So played at Bethel out in West Tennessee. It was a small NAIA school.
Okay.
Played there, and then played at UT Martin for most of my career, and then finished up at Middle Tennessee. So
MTSU?
There you go.
Wow.
Homecoming.
Nice. No way.
Yeah.
So you played football at all these places, and that's kind of where the
it's just kind of you kind of see different things. You start learning different things. Within my major, too, I was an exercise science major, so I learned.
Yeah.
So it shifted my mindset to, like, a lot of different things that, I didn't necessarily have access to or didn't know.
Okay.
So, like, learning, and like, oh, okay, this works like this works like that, so all right, I think I should make a shift at what I'm doing, like this, or like that,
like diet-based kind of idea too.
For sure, like, diets, eating regimens, how I should eat, how you can lose weight, how you can gain weight, how you can maintain where you at, like
football players need to have some muscle.
Yeah,
you need to be able to gain.
Yeah.
You also need to be able to cut too, I'm sure.
So, yeah, for sure. So just seeing the, picture from a whole, and actually learning how to do it the correct way. Because, even with some programs, where I was at playing ball at, in college, like they wanted you to do this or that, but then you didn't have any
research.
I don't have no resources to even tell me how to do this or that, So you're thinking, all right, maybe I should, hit all my training sessions and then probably not eat,
Oh, yeah.
And so like, you're like, that's not correct.
That isn't, yeah.
Just learning, within school.
What was the name of the degree you got?
Exercise science.
Exercise science.
Yeah.
So I guess inside there you would learn all the, basically like the chemistry also behind why certain nutrition gives you certain.
Yeah, so with exercise science majors, you get a base of nutrition. You don't go in super detailed depth as a registered dietitian would.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
you get enough.
But yeah, you get enough of a base of nutrition, and we can kind of tap into the nutrition side a little later because I do within my business structure have a registered dietitian that works with us.
Very cool.
So, but yeah, and so within exercise science, you hit the nutrition, you hit kinesiology, you hit exercise physiology, you hit stuff like that, anatomy and physiology, like different things of that sort. So you get a good bit of knowledge,
Nice.
all in one. So even too, when it comes down to programming, training programs, like that's a whole another ball game, you learn within that. I had some great professors at middle. So, and
that has to be, to me, working out, I think a lot of people have always misconstrued it as just like a bunch of meatheads lifting weights in a gym.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's ever been that way. I think ever since Arnold, Schwarzenegger was, pumping iron, he even had probably a very strict regimen. It just wasn't as popular. And nowadays with like the keys of social media and all the awesomeness that you can show people exactly what's happening, it's kind of cool because you're seeing people like you take a degree that, people don't really maybe know a lot about and actually put it to like an awesome system online. Then people can go, oh, wow, look at these results.
Yeah.
Or I never knew about like combining this with this. And then afterward, my workout doing this and this and this. Cause it really is steps. Like you said, like you can't,
it's a process.
You can't just run yourself to the ground all day long.
No.
I mean, I've seen Tim McGraw work out and he works out pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
But I'm sure even inside of his 8-hour workouts or whatever he does during the day.
I would like to.
He's probably finding time to actually
maybe
be
we
healthy.
had to talk about that later. I would like to kind of like sit down and talk to Tim McGraw about his, like, you hear all the stuff like he works out 8 hours a day, and all that. I would love to really like sit down and kind of really
like
hear that actual training regimen.
I did a small like 2 months with Tim many years ago, and it was a private it was a bunch of private flying, so he didn't have his I don't think there was buses except for like one weekend, so he didn't have his gym and stuff. But not to get too far off the subject, but that man's routine, from what because I would like you like you just said earlier, like I would always be out walking steps or running steps or doing push-ups or doing something. So someone in his camp was like, Tim like works out like a wild man. And I was like, really? I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could kind of see that. He's pretty fit for, I don't know how old he is, 60, like 55 or something. I was like, yeah, he's pretty fit. Come to find out, he does work out a lot.
There you go.
So I mean, it would be interesting.
I would love to sit down and hear like that regimen, or heck, let's get a few in. I'm down. I'm always down to like work out with somebody.
Yeah.
Just to kind of I'm always learning.
100%.
So like just to like get better at what I'm doing.
Being a football player, you had to be in a regimen. You had to wake up in the morning at
Probably a schedule.
Oh, and I'm sure it was a tight schedule.
When you play college ball, you got a schedule, baby.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
You got a schedule, and I feel like though within that, it's a blessing too within that because it prepares you like for life. You know, after. Even though I feel like, and that's a whole nother subject too, with like a lot of athletes, they feel like they don't know what to do next after that's done. Yeah. You know, especially like within the workspace.
Oh my gosh.
You know, but like just if you can actually take what you have learned with bases and stuff and like the the structure that was put in place and keep that same structure and put it with your workspace life. Yeah. Like I feel like you'll be successful 100% of the time, afterwards. So
I believe that. I truly think that, I love working out. I think that it's really the key to my success, but I have to stick by a really, really good schedule. Yeah. Like I wake up at the same time every day. I work out roughly right about the same time I start. I finish right about and then it's like breakfast. And that structure does help me through the rest of the day. Yeah. Finished other tasks. Even though like working out doesn't have anything to do with technically my podcast. Yeah. It gets my blood flowing in the morning to then energize me for the midday, which then leads into, Yes, and sir. I think and maybe you can answer this better too, with like some of your, so you have your A-list clients, but then you also just have your typical, probably housewife or your typical business guy that comes to the gym, right? And
and not to, mess up your verbiage there, I call all my clients A-list clients. So I don't care who you are.
A-list. I like that though. Yeah. But that's a good mentality to have. So your A-list clients can range from anyone though. Yeah. And that's the beauty behind having a mentality like that, is that you're going to go in and you're going to treat them all the same, but you have to look at them differently to satisfy their needs. Exactly. Though. And so it's like the business guy, he might not be able to do that 6 a.m. workout. So you have to dive into him and be like, okay, well, what time can you be here? And now here's a question that I have for you. Do you find that certain people they work out better at a certain time and then they actually see the results, but if they try to like struggle through a workout that they're just trying to fit in at midday because that's the only time they have available, like do you see people like struggle with that? Because I've always been curious about that, if like time really does, because some people are like, I'm a nighttime worker outer. Yeah. I'm a morning worker outer.
And I think it's more so of schedule, with people.
Just got to get into that.
Yeah. If your schedule permits, for you to work out early in the morning or from later in the evening or night,
gotta build it in.
You just you make it work and you go from there. Because I feel like once you get in there, you're gonna work, Yeah. Like, because you ain't gonna just, show up and then be like, all right, I'm going to just halfway do this thing, especially when you like investing in yourself,
That's a big one.
Yeah.
If you're investing in yourself, especially a personal trainer, because they like nowadays you see a lot of life coaches. Yeah. You see a lot of personal trainers on the internet and stuff like that. There's a lot of people though. So it's not like it's crazy to see like I probably follow 3 or 4 trainers and probably a dozen life coaches. And they all have really, really good info. But I do think that when you finally go down the route of, all right, you're my dude. Yeah. You're investing in yourself. You should show up. You should be, it's way different than me just going to Gold's Gym and getting on a treadmill.
Yeah, it's plenty of times that you're going to show up. Like, it's been plenty of times, when I go to, work out, whatever time it may be, because sometimes, depending on my schedule, I have to, adjust and do this or do
Fly
that.
Dates and all that.
So like, it's plenty of times, sometimes within your head, like, man, I don't want to do this. Like, there's plenty of times with me, I don't want to do this.
But you got to push through.
Hey, it's like, you're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it anyway. It's kind of one of my sayings.
You got to do it anyway?
It's up in the gym. Let's do it anyway.
I love it.
So, like...
Did you get that from the college ball, though? Because you said it was such a strict schedule. Like, your coach wasn't going to let you just be like, hey... I don't feel like working out today. I'm going to go back to my dorm.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't going to fly.
Right?
Or you probably wouldn't be on the team anymore. After a couple of those, you're like, is this guy committed or not?
Yeah, because it's one thing to be, I actually am sick today. Yeah. It's another thing to be like, I'm hungover and I just don't feel like being here.
Yeah. And you had a lot of that, especially in college, you know. So, and then it was always a thing when you're playing college ball. It was like, are you hurt or are you injured?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing too when you're playing college ball, you know, like, or just when you kind of get to that college and up, you know, it's a big thing. Is are you hurt or are you injured? You know, so
what position did you play? Because I take a look at like, this is just me watching from a armchair quarterback perspective. It's like, I always feel like the running backs just take a beating. I would just feel like they are like
probably the shortest lifespan in the NFL.
You watch their legs get their Charlie horsed, and I mean like the helmets to the thighs and ankles and all that stuff. But you still have to go. Then you know, like I'm assuming, like let's say the game's on Saturday, you get Sunday off. Monday, you still have to go probably in and do either film or training or something, right?
And two, like after a game, like on Sunday, you kind of want to move your body in some sort.
Yeah, because you don't want it to just seize up.
Yeah, so it's like it helps. It actually helps, you know, after a game because like games are long, especially these days. Now with like you got all the TV,
4 hours.
You know, like you got 3-4 hour games. You know, so they're long. You just kind of you got to get your body moving. Like it's like active recovery. You know, so you got to get your body moving a little bit day after a game, and then sometimes just depending on programs and how they run things. Where you might in college move around a little bit, go watch film on Sunday, and then maybe get a day off on Monday, and then probably go watch film though anyway still to get ready for next week's team. And
what position did you play?
I played offensive line in college.
Offensive line.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm like 6'2".
Yeah, you walked in. I had to tell you to watch your head there almost.
I'm like 6'2". Yeah, I'm actually on the shorter spectrum of the offensive linemen.
Really?
Oh yeah.
What are they like 6'5" is typical?
Yeah, 6'5", 6'4", 6'5". You can get some. They could be like 6'6", 6'7".
Wow.
You know, some big guys, man. You know, probably ranging. You got some big ones that are, about 6'6", 6'7", probably a bit of 315, you know.
Ooh. What was your heaviest?
My heaviest is probably when I was in high school at 325.
Muscle or a little bit of both?
Muscle.
A little bit of both?
I was a strong kid, but but didn't know how to put things in my body the correct way,
I got you.
I probably ate like right here on freaking Gallatin Road. I probably had McDonald's and Wendy's and
there's some good stuff up there.
Taco Bell up there on Gallatin Road a few times a week.
A few times a week, right. That I look at some linemen now that you're saying you're a lineman or we're a lineman. Man, some of those boys are big.
Yeah.
But it's like a different strong. Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, and I guess that's really cool of you to have gone through a few different programs, like you said. So that way, your gym is Grit and Hustle, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get that name out there so everybody can hear it. So at Grit and Hustle, like that mentality has now followed you for many, many, many years, right? Mm-hmm. You were, like you said, here you were, Big Wilson.
Yeah.
325. 325. And then you get to college and you start to learn, right? You start to grow. And then you're seeing your transformation. Because you can't preach it if you haven't really gone through it.
Yeah.
You got to kind of walk through fire and come out the other end. And you look good for 6'2". You're not like,
thank you, Phil.
I don't know how old are you? You're probably the same age around my age. So I feel like we look good for our age, you know? And part of that is learning what our body is like.
Yeah.
What kind of fuel I need, what kind of fuel you need. And I just think your journey is awesome that you've been in Nashville, you played ball, you came back. Well, I guess MTSU is down the road, but still you came back and here you are now. You own this gym and now you're able to share with people your journey of being 325. And now you're in shape.
I don't know if people know a lot about the journey of being 325.
Well, it's out now.
Yeah.
It's out to the 10 people that are listening right now live.
People that know me, they know the journey. But
I was 240 at my heaviest, and I'm 5'7".
Yeah.
So I love talking about working out.
Yeah.
Because I really do think that it changes mentality. I think it changes so many things about
It does. I feel like too, and like, don't get it wrong with this, but, you know, because I'm very, like, open and like to talk about, like, mental health stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like if you actually treat your body right and take care of your body, like, this right here,
100%.
like, it shifts a whole lot more. And I feel like you become more healthier within that.
Oh.
You know, you become more healthier within just, you know, confidence.
100%.
You become more healthier just, like, spiritually. You know, so, like, I just feel like, you know, when you kind of take care of this a whole lot more, and within moving your body, it actually helps take care of this, then everything else just follows, you know.
Well, you're connected.
Yeah.
You know, brain through your spinal cord all the way to, you know, every nerve touches every muscle. Yeah. And every nerve goes through your brain. You know, it's like, I don't know the exact science, but I'm only assuming that giant thing that's, you know, above my eyes is a pretty powerful thing. So if I'm not fueling it correctly, then I'm already behind. Yeah. So you really do have to start with fuel.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have found, and you know, I think you being a personal trainer to all your A-list people, each person's morning routine says a little bit about what, you know, I think how they fuel their body throughout the day for one, but you know, like some people aren't breakfast eaters. Yeah. So you have to, you know, like, okay, well, how can we get you a little bit of fuel to get you at least to through this workout? Because I like to work out on an empty stomach. Yeah. That's just me. Some people are like, no, I have to have a protein shake and stuff like that. I find my workouts get better when I'm on an empty stomach, and then I grub less afterwards. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but maybe you see that too.
Or just making better conscious decisions on what I need to put in my body to fuel my body. Yeah. You know, so that's a big thing, you know, and, you know, I've seen people struggle with that. You know, I've struggled with it.
I still like my chicken nuggets.
You know, you know, like, you know, you got to make good conscious decisions on what to put in your body to make it, you know, fuel it correctly. And I'm not saying everything is just like, you know, bad, you know, like, because I feel like a lot of stuff get a bad connotation of, you know, can't eat this, can't eat that, can't eat that, you know. To some extent, I think, yes, we can.
Realistically.
Know? Yeah. Yeah. So just not like, it's more the consistency part, you know, to it. Like, all right, you know, like you know, you got a routine and it stays pretty consistent, you know, over time. So like, say if you deviate, you know, from it just a little bit, you know, maybe here, you know, like it doesn't like just destroy you sometimes. Like if you go way off the chart with it, you know, it might get to you a little bit, but
I've seen myself, definitely like you just said. The holidays are upon us. Yeah. And I always tend to find like that first week, like I'm good. Like I made it through, but then there's all the stuff that just sits in the pantry. And I'm like, well, you know, last week I just had a couple pieces and nothing's really changed about my belt size. And I still feel pretty good. And I'm still waking up. And then the creep factor happens. It slowly creeps in. And then next thing you know, I'm like, dang it, January 1st, time to get at it again. Yeah. Everybody has that New Year's.
That's the thing, man. Like people like enjoy it like right here. Then let's get back on track to what we're doing.
Yeah, but you said it too. You know, don't be frightened of these foods, but there is a little bit of moderation, I think, into it. You know, like I always did diets, and you said you have a nutritionist at Grit and Hustle, which I think is awesome because that's one thing I've always struggled with, and I think if you're going to invest in yourself with a personal trainer or even, you know, just starting the routine, that nutritionist is a big part to that.
Yes.
Because they're going to look at, well, what are you intaking right now? Before we even start getting you on a treadmill or start putting you through the routines, I'm sure that you guys are like, all right, how can we cut some things to then gain some things?
Yeah. Because, I mean, the biggest thing, you know, when you want to see a shift in your body, a lot of times it's more your nutrition.
I've heard that before.
It is more your nutrition. You know, the exercise is just going it'll amplify it and keep it going where it needs to go. You know.
Is it true? They say like 6-packs are made in the kitchen, or 6-packs are, you know, it's not really. You can do as many sit-ups as you want, but if you're eating like,
and I'm gonna tell you right this with all the core exercises that people like to do. Like, they're great and all. Like, don't get me wrong. Core exercises are great. But if you add some compound lifts to your regimen, you might see that core pop a whole lot more.
But that's what you're good at. I follow you on Instagram, and I'll put up all your stuff. But you have a really good. You put up the Grit and Hustle board every morning.
Yeah.
Or is it almost every morning?
No, we do it every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, that's it.
We do workout of the day, and it's every Wednesday. So I just like and I don't try to do nothing like very like strenuous. Sometimes they could be a little bit trying, like because I actually go through them.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, I go through them.
I've seen you.
And they can be a little trying and a little tough sometimes. But I like to do something like every Wednesday just to get people moving, like everybody. I just want to, give somebody something where they can move, and get their body moving.
Yeah.
And we try to get it out, a good bit early in the day. This year, the top of this year, we actually started putting like video content out with it.
Yeah.
So you can actually see the movements. And also we have a little YouTube page that, that you can see different movements and stuff that we might post. So.
I love that. But you just said it though. It's not just you're not just doing core stuff on there.
No.
You have a lot. I mean, I've seen you do your workouts, and they look pretty.
Yeah, so sometimes we try to. It just depends, like kind of what I have written up. I write them up probably about 6 to 8 weeks out. Each one as we go, and then we'll film them. And like as I write them, I just try to go each week. Like, all right, maybe this one be upper body focus, and then all right, if I go upper body focus, all right, what upper body, groups do I want to, focus on with this one? Same thing we do lower half. Sometimes we'll go full body, so
that's awesome.
Sometimes we do just it's all kind of different, like little regiments and things that you can learn and structures of how to program, like something that's efficient and
efficient. Yeah. Well, a lot of people the timing too. Like we've hit on it a little bit, but people are busy these days.
Yeah.
So you gotta becoming part of a gym. Grit and hustle. Like you get that all the things you need. So your time in life, you can't make excuses anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't have time to work out. I don't have time to eat healthy. It's like, well, let us take the freaking the strain off of you and help you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kicker is that it's not just about we're just have a gym and we just want to take your money. It's about truly helping people. And I think that you said that by the fact of saying that all your clients are A-list clients.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big...
we got a service, and we're just trying to provide the best service to everybody.
I dig that, man. I truly think that a full, like encompassing idea like that is key to keeping people interested, to keeping people going back, because, man, I do some moves that are the same, and some days I'm like, do I really want to do push-ups today?
Hey,
but they do help. I have to struggle through them some days, but I've thought about it. I'm like, man, when I do have the capital to go in and move, or not move my life, but move my butt out of this house in the morning and have that extra little bit to go down to a gym. I think it's something that I've always truly wanted. I just haven't signed up for it yet. So, but it's cool, man. I dig it. So who's your nutritionist?
It's a lady named Casey Young.
Casey Young.
Yeah, she's based out of Michigan.
Okay.
So I have a few ties in Michigan too. So she's based out of Michigan, and she's probably one of the best.
Very cool.
That I've gotten a chance to talk to and be able to work with. So we got a little program. It's called 30-Day Hustle.
Nice.
And we basically, we just want to teach. We teach people. We try to empower people to actually learn and be able to implement nutrition for themselves.
That's cool.
So, like, legitly, like, we take it, we go 30 days, and it was always a big thing with me because I'm not a big start and stop person. So, like, you got all these different things, so I'm just like, the 30-day kind of deal is a marketing situation.
For sure.
Because it's like, all right, this thing has this deal, this thing has this deal. But
75 hard and
yeah. It's like always like a start and stop kind of thing, and that's not me. So I was like, all right, Casey, all right, so if we market it like this, all right, how can we implement something within this 30 days to help people take it with them for the rest of their lives?
That's really cool.
So like, I'm like, because I'm not the big, like I said, stop-start guy. So I'm like, all right, how can we teach people in 30 days, to be able to implement this and, like, be able to adjust it, when they need to, like, say they on, day 90, all right, I need to adjust from here. How can we teach them to do that, within 30 days?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest part to it for me. But, she gives out, meal plans for people, help them out.
That's cool.
We're doing meal plan structures for each individual person. We take it from macronutrients standpoint too. So we'll hit that, and see what might be good for that. And that's the part too where it can shift, like people say, like, all right, just to give you like a base, a 2,000 calorie diet, like say like I need to be on a 2,000 calorie diet for the rest of my life. Maybe not so, because maybe you might, for you to cut, you might need to be eating 2,000 calories. For you to maintain, you might need to be eating maybe like, 2,225 calories.
Yeah.
So like, so it's just a thing. And then say like, all right, maybe I might need to try to gain a little bit. I'm trying to gain a little bit of weight, like maybe like a little muscle mass. So maybe I need to be eating maybe like 25, 3,500.
Yeah.
So like, it's just like little adjustments and like little shifts within like kind of what we're doing. So it's a big deal where we try to teach that, and have
I dig
people
the
understand.
teaching part.
Yeah.
I dig the teaching part because I think nutrition or the diets scare people. Like, I don't want to give all that up.
And I'm not a big diet person.
I have this year. I stopped saying New Year's resolutions this year, and I said goals. And the other thing that I cut out was diets. I'm not dieting anymore. I'm not doing that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enjoy my food, but I'm also going to eat food that is good.
Yep.
And cook it, like, and really look into what I'm doing, and as opposed to like, cool, if I want a hamburger, I'm going to take the time to make myself a hamburger or cook a steak, as opposed to just going to a place where I know nothing about what they're putting in it.
Exactly.
But don't get me wrong, on the flip side too, I told myself I'm not going to beat myself up if I'm driving down the road and I'm like, you know what, I want some freaking tater tots and a hamburger from Sonic.
There you go.
Do it daily? Absolutely not.
Nope.
Do it once in a blue moon, or if I'm out and about doing my thing, sure.
Yeah.
And dude, I am in the best shape of my life.
There you go.
Crazy. But I cut the word diet out because it's like you said, I'd rather teach myself how to do something for a lifetime and instead of continually doing the stop and start thing.
Yeah, I think goals are really big. Goals and regimens to me are really big because, like, even too, like with goals, like, make a checklist. Like, make a checklist. All right, these are my goals. These are my checklists. All right, be able to see it and be able to check it off.
Yeah.
Like, when I get there, all right, or I meet this goal, I can be able to check it off, and you can get a sense of accomplishment, and I feel like that's like, get those healthy endorphins moving within your brain. Like, all right, I can check this off because I made it to this goal.
Yeah.
All right, then I can go to the next one, and I make it to that one. I can check that off, and you can like see it.
Yeah,
and you can see progress.
I'm a big and a small goal kind of guy. I like writing one big goal.
Dude, I don't care. Write them all down. It could be the smallest to medium to the biggest. I don't care. Write them all down. Say I'm gonna read one sentence of this book.
But that's what I mean. It's like I want to finish the book, but I need to first get through a chapter. Yeah. So it's like I like to, like, on my mirror, I have end goals. But then in between those end goals, I know, like, okay, well, I have to hit a couple little ones first. And that, like, that's what I was meaning by big and small. Like, I like to give myself those little wins on those weeks that I know that it's going to be a tough week. Like, okay, today, I just need to get through today. Yep. Like, I woke up and I am not in a good mood. I need to change my mindset. So by noon, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to go out and get some sunshine, or I need an extra walk today. Exactly. But it is too, like you said, mental health is giant, and I've struggled with it. Like, we're sponsored by BetterHelp. Yeah. And they're a giant key to, I think, a lot of people who are scared to go drive to a place. They do it all like over the cell phones or over like Zoom, which is key to a lot of people. Don't want to go out and put themselves in like a psychiatrist's office or whatever, So I think it's cool, but then it also starts too by like, what are you eating in the morning? Like, what do you do? Are you staying up all night? Are you drinking all night?
How's your sleep?
it's key to a lot of stuff. So I'm sure when you get like a new client, right away you're like, I'm assuming that you do goals. Yeah. Where do you see yourself?
We have like a little kind of nice little cool registration form waiver.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of, I like to see where, before I even, do anything with that person, just to see what they write down.
That's amazing.
So
get to know them a little bit. Like what is deep inside you? Where do you want to see yourself? And because like I look at myself and I've finally stopped going too far in the future. A couple of years. All right. This is where I want to be in a couple of years. But I still have today, tomorrow.
You got right now, like,
right this second. I have an interview with Wilson today. Like, there's a lot of things that have to happen before I get to that year. So I think personal trainers are one of those gigs where you get to see people evolve, like right in front of you.
Yeah.
So it's probably a very rewarding thing for them. But at the same time, you're like you said, you're getting to help someone nutrition-wise for the rest of their life potentially.
Yeah.
Especially, and maybe you can answer this in a personal trainer way. A lot of people, I think, are very they assume they know nutrition.
Yeah.
But I eat a salad from Wendy's every day at lunch.
Yeah,
you're like,
but is that enough? Is that enough for you?
Yeah. Did you
like what kind of like
sugar in there?
Yeah. I mean, even you can go there, but just like from the standpoint of when you kind of, and I know some people don't like counting macronutrients, but like if you just look at that standpoint, like a lot of times if you want something to shift, like you look at the salad, all right. What's the protein intake on it?
Yeah.
What's your carbohydrate intake on it? What's your fat intake on it? And we can just start at those three macronutrients. And like, if you want something to shift, like you gotta be able to like add a little bit more protein here, add a little bit more carbohydrates there, maybe add some fat here, maybe take away here, maybe take away there, and like within that, like just that little salad,
boom,
might not be doing it probably ain't doing you any justice.
Yeah.
Like.
So look at it, I have a friend, she does macronutrients. And it's mind-boggling to see her transformation too. Because it really is, like you said, it's just small shifts in what you're intaking.
Yeah.
When you started Grit and Hustle, did you ever think that did you already see this? Like, did you already, like, I'm going to have a nutritionist, I'm going to have certain things, or has it evolved?
Like I told you earlier, I like to write stuff down, and you kind of have a plan set at sight to, like, and we still got to, other things out there lingering, Grit and Hustle stuff, that I still have written down that we're working on right now to this day. So it's like you got these different things that you would like to see within this whole structure of a business concept that you have.
Yeah.
So that was, one of them, because I was like, all right, I'm a trainer. And like you see all these trainers out on Instagram and stuff giving all this nutrition, stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine and dandy. Cool.
Good on them.
But with me, in my thought process, a registered dietitian holds a whole lot more weight than just a personal trainer.
100%.
So like I need somebody that spent time with that,
Yeah.
Like
give the best quality.
Yes. Like I've spent time with, training people. I spend time with nutrition too, but like I spent more time, training people and developing programs and stuff like that, to get people in the best shape. But like I know somebody that's spent 15 years in a nutrition standpoint, more so than like actually like training. So I think that would be better suited to get the better results for my clients.
I love that.
So that's how, like, when I'm doing things for the business, I'm like, all right, what makes sense?
What's the best what can I give my clients that's going to be the best for them?
So yeah, and then at times too, like you look at, sometimes people look at, pricing, and I'm like, all right, you got to invest in yourself at some point.
I love that.
Like
have to.
If you want great stuff and you want to, see results, and you want the best information and most quality information, then you might have to spend a little bit of money on it.
Have to.
So
I am writing now, and I just spent a grip of money to go to this conference to learn how to be better at it.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll only pay off if I put it to use, and if I same with working out though, like like I was saying earlier, I would love to have a personal trainer, but there's other things that I have to accomplish first before I can do that. But you wouldn't jump into the stock market without, consulting someone.
Yes.
You wouldn't go like just start a whole portfolio by yourself without at least watching a YouTube video or something.
Yeah.
But even then, you're still doing yourself an injustice because you're not giving someone who's been there and learned about it and knows the grit and the hustle behind it to really give you the best results that you're looking for. And so I think that, like you said, I think that there's definitely something really cool about that idea, that it's not just you spouting off what works just for you or what you've gone through, though you can tell your journey.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that it's awesome that you sat down and said, well, I think I need someone that's of pro status. Because if you're going to have A-list clients.
Yeah. Because me and Casey, we talked about different things, because I had lost some pounds. We had talked about this. We a while ago during the COVID deal, we was doing like a whole bunch of, live videos, just chatting about different nutrition things,
Yeah.
And so I hear it one time, we're like, all right, cool, Casey. All right, look at me. I'm a guy that lost like this much weight. Didn't track macros and nothing like that. All right, so where we're going now? All right, let's hit on that. Somebody that didn't track macros but lost this weight.
Yeah.
But then say you lost the weight, but then you still got your body. It looks different. It looks a little smaller, but say it hasn't made a shift within the tone of it or your muscle build or anything like that. So
that's a big one.
Yeah. So you can kind of take it in that perspective too. So and go that direction and be like, oh, okay, cool. Now if I add this component to it now and I lose the weight and then my body shifts and then it looks more like this now too. So
and that's where I think I've always wanted that nutritionist personal trainer help, is because I can lose weight.
Yeah.
I've done it before. That's easy.
Yeah.
But I definitely some days look in the mirror and I'm like, dang, I'm skinny fat.
Yeah.
Where are my muscles at?
So I I've seen people lose weight and I can tell, you can tell this to anybody. I can tell anybody. I said walking is the most underrated exercise.
Oh, I love walking.
If you get 10,000 steps a day and you do pretty decent just eating each day, just eat, say you just ate whole foods, meats, veggies, fruits, ate whole foods, and you walk 10,000 steps a day, I bet you can lose weight just like that.
100%. I've done it. I can attest to that right now. Walking is the most underrated exercise.
It is.
I walked on a treadmill. That's how I started my journey of really getting down. I'd broke the 200 level. I was hovering at 180 and I just couldn't break it. And I started walking on a treadmill on days off to just get the process started. And I did it at an incline.
Yeah.
And I would walk for an hour, just sweat it out. Next thing I know, I was 150. It's is this unreal?
Yeah. But then you go from there and you're like, all right, how can I become a little bit more overall healthy?
Yep.
Because then you get to talking about as we get older, you got things like bones, you got things like ligaments, you got things like joints, you got things like your muscles. All right, as you get older, these things, some of these things start to deteriorate.
Yeah.
So how do I add something that can keep me healthy long term?
Yeah.
Not just from a standpoint of just losing weight, just to have it all.
100. And things will die of their own accord if you don't take care of them. If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it.
I had a professor that was his biggest thing when I was at middle. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. That was his biggest thing. Biggest thing. Especially programming stuff. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And I was like, oh, okay. And you get it now from being in it for a while now and seeing it. You're if you don't use it, you'll lose it.
I can tell you that I know a couple 40-year-olds. I'm 40, and they don't look. They look like they're probably 60. And that's no whatever, fine, that's them. I don't judge them for that. I'm just saying if you don't use it, you lose it. And it's crazy that you have a guy that's telling you that, because I'm putting it in a very simple way, but it's
so simple, it's hard.
It really is. If you stop learning, your brain will eventually just, turn to mush, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you keep continually putting a little knowledge bites in, even if it's just a little bit. So it's the same with working out. Like, cool, maybe you don't run a marathon ever in your life.
Yeah.
But maybe you go out and walk every day for, like you said, 10,000 steps. That's why they make those pedometer counters nowadays. Dude.
Or you can just do 30 minutes.
Or 30 minutes. Yeah, exactly. But that's not a lot of, that's not hard. You can find 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you just start there. It's like you said, you just start there.
An intentional 30 minutes. I guarantee.
And then think about taking, and I love this because we're having fun with this because I preach this all the time. Imagine taking 20 pounds off your joints. Mm-hmm. Just your knees alone. Yeah. What that feels like. Mm-hmm. I can tell you, it feels way better.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can tell you too.
I can squat. My wife always makes fun of me because my little dude, he goes down low.
Yeah.
And I'll get down low with it. And she's like, you guys and your elastic freaking knees. I use them all the time.
Yeah.
Every day. Those things are just
bending things, baby.
Bending all the time. It is one of those things, man. I'm so glad that you said that, and I love that you have that mentality too, because it really is. I think that those little moments in time, if you don't use it, you lose it. Mm-hmm. And it's such a good thing. And two, though, with the knowledge of eating, if you've eaten the same thing your whole life and never given yourself the chance to learn something new, you're gonna lose it too. Mm-hmm. You got to keep growing.
Yeah. Our bodies are always evolving. Some things that work then ain't gonna work, later on in life.
We're not 15 anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I can't eat 4 bags of Flaming Hot Cheetos and 3 Dr. Peppers and say that I'm going to be okay the next day. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to happen.
Yep.
But I tell you what, man, if I eat healthy for at least a week, you know what I do? I always give myself Saturdays. Sundays. I always give myself Sundays to have sugar.
There you go.
And whatever. Mondays, sometimes a little slagging.
Yeah.
A little
maybe like the intake of the sugar, you might need to cut back just a little bit. Give yourself some, but not maybe as much.
No, that's the key. Yeah. Sometimes I take a little too advanced. I'm like, that extra handful of frozen peanut M&Ms is that's not gonna hurt me.
Yeah, M&Ms, gotta love them.
So do you? All right. So back to Grit and Hustle.
Yeah.
Not only do you train, out on the road. If I guess I might have said that earlier, but if I didn't, the way we met was you were training some of the A-list country stars out here in Nashville, out on the road, and you always had a really dope regimen. You had a work box that was really cool, full of awesome toys.
Shout out to Sorenex for that one.
Sorenex? All right, shout out to them. You had all the things that I love to do. You had the pull-up thing. Yep. You had the ropes, everything, right? Mm-hmm. It was super dope. You're building them freaking workout routines on the road. You're utilizing stairs, and that's what I always loved about your routines is you used what was around too. It wasn't just a static. Every day we're just gonna sit here and pump weights
and just a little bit of my background. It come more of an athletic based background of training. And I kind of took that when I started training. Artists and stuff out on the road. I kind of took that and dumbed it down a little bit and spun it into the fitness kind of realm. So you can see like you'll get a little bit more athletic based training too when it comes to with that's just kind of my style.
That's just your style.
But
that's cool though.
But yeah, so I just kind of intertwined it.
Nice.
So mine is a little bit different than what you see than your typical fitness guys. Or girls.
Yeah.
Not
when you transition from the road back to the gym, do you find yourself finding stuff out on the road like, oh, that was a really cool little routine I did, let me see how I can mimic it here, or are you pretty standard with like keeping your gym?
It just depends. It more so depends on who I'm working with.
Okay.
So like I try to individualize it to what people are trying to do.
Nice.
So like too, with like out on the road, like say, with Florida Georgia Line, more upbeat shows.
Yeah.
Upbeat shows. So I like to keep the workouts a little bit more upbeat,
Keep their cardio going.
So just like,
heart rate.
Well, you ain't just getting winded, Say like you can sing a song, with sweat rolling down your face and
running back and forth across the stage.
Yeah, so like that was more so like I like to keep those workouts a little bit more upbeat.
Okay.
A little more up tempo, just a little bit, and then slow them down here to there. Just for like strength purposes, actual building purposes. So like it's a little bit. I tied it in a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of with them a whole lot more so with just a few different things. So strength train focus, then more so of pinpointing a few different muscle groups, and cardio conditioning.
Yeah.
I like to call strength and conditioning.
Do you give your clients, is it a set time frame? Like, all right, I'm a new client, I only can really work out 30 minutes. Or are you like, hey, dude, I need you for 45 minutes every time you come in? Or do you build your routines around their kind of time?
Yeah, sometimes it depends. I like to kind of go 45 to an hour.
That's a good.
So like as and the structure of it is, like that first 15 minutes, we could be doing a lot of, that's a lot of warm up,
mobility, stretching, maybe
priming. Like we're trying to prime, muscles and ligaments of what we're about to do. So
yeah,
so you can take that as the first 15 minutes, and
nice.
that's not, as taxing within your body.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. So you can get that 15 minutes right there. So then, like, say if you're going for a 45-minute session, you only got like 30 minutes of like actual, like, maybe even getting after it, because sometimes, your strength training, that hits a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Your conditioning phase of it hits a little bit different.
Yeah.
So
is it HIIT training that a lot of people do, or is that
HIIT?
Yeah. Is that kind of the? Do you stay away from
high intensity interval training?
Yeah,
I don't stay away from it, not necessarily.
Because on like something like a 30-minute workout, you really have to keep the
I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the guy that kind of found it. Like, it's called peripheral heart action training.
Okay.
So PHA. I like that a whole lot more so when I'm in a time crunch.
Ah, nice.
Because I can hit like compound movements.
Okay.
And keep throwing some like nice little auxiliary lifts that you can move really quick with.
Nice.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So like, I like to work that a whole lot more so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
because I think like the HIIT thing, it got real
cool.
It got popular.
Yeah, but I feel like you can't do that all the time, though.
Nah, it's
not sustainable. Like, you can structure that type of workout within the workout, for like a certain time frame of it.
Yeah,
I feel like,
what was the name of peripheral
heart action training?
Heart action training. Is that trying to keep your heart rate at a certain?
Look it up.
All right.
Yeah.
Is it new, or is this something that's been around for a little while?
It's been around for a little while,
Right.
I kind of just researching and stumbling up on different things, just learning. I tell you, I try to continue to learn each and every day, just to, get better at what you're doing.
You got to. I'm gonna put a link up. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna try to drop something good on there. Yeah. But if not, I'm gonna put your link. I'm gonna direct people to you.
Like, for real though, like some of the workouts that I post are kind of catered like that.
Okay.
Like, to that style of training. Like, some of the workouts that we post on Wednesday are kind of catered to that style.
Nice.
A little bit. So I go back and forth, with just like different styles that I kind of post, on each Wednesday, just to give you something that's a little different. You might find some of the same moves, a few 3 weeks in a row, but the style of it is a little bit different.
If you had to, let's say craziness, you had to work out one thing, like if you had one bar, because someone showed me this thing, like it's almost looks like a, I don't know, it goes around you lift up, you put weights on the side, and
trap bar.
Is that what that is?
A trap bar.
Yeah, like it's on the ground, you can lift it all the way up. They were telling me that was like one of the best workout things ever, and I tried it. I was like,
trap bar is
pretty cool. I was like, I like it. I was like, I'm not a big weight person, so like to me, if I had one move, it would be a push-up. If I could do push-ups the rest of my life, I feel like I'd be happy.
Push-ups are great.
What would be yours?
They work a lot of. That's a good question, man. I like push-ups too.
It's like my buddy would choose bench press. That'd be his. Like I
like push-ups too. It'd probably have to be like something bodyweight, because you can always do it.
Yeah.
Like, you got your body can always do it. So I would probably go maybe like squats.
Squats are good.
Because I feel like, I like push-ups though too, but I feel like with the squats, it's just like, it kind of gives you, for me, it gives you mobility. Like, if you don't have your legs, and I applaud people, that, have prosthetics and things of that sort. Like, but I feel like when you can move your legs, dude, like, as long as you can move your legs, if you can bend your dang on knees, you can do anything.
Yeah.
So, your legs are like your quad muscles, biggest muscle group in your body. So.
You got to have good legs. I mean, I would say I might have to agree with you on that. I don't like doing squats.
I don't like to
either. Maybe that's why I chose the push-ups, because
I don't like doing a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Dude, I think on average every day, because I have like I have a very similar routine every morning, just because I know that I can fit it in. It's keeping me healthy. Like right now, I think I'm maintaining.
Yeah.
Like I've lost. I like where I am. I want to maintain now for a little while, and then we'll see where I change it. Because like diet, but my diet helps me if I need to lose a couple extra, or if I need to, whatever. Mm-hmm. My diet does help. But I think roughly around 500 push-ups every morning.
Ooh.
And I do...
You working, Bill. You working.
I do somewhere around 400 squats. But
Bill,
it's like...
You're working, baby.
But it's not all weighted, though. It's like a lot of it's just body...
Hey, if you're doing body weight, that's freaking amazing.
And it's like I always call it my prison workout. Because I could do it in like a little... I could literally do it in a bunk hallway when we were going down the road on those long subway. Because that was my thing. It's like, I had to work out every day.
Yeah.
There's something about it. And whether I'm just breaking a small sweat or if I'm breaking a giant sweat, it just makes me feel better. And so that's why I think I've always had push-ups as that one thing.
Yep. Because
I could do it anywhere.
Hey, and they make you stronger too. I tell you, like, if you actually get into weight training, maybe just get you some dumbbells, Get you some dumbbells, nice
I got 2 in
size. There. Maybe get some bigger size that you have right now. But I'm telling you, dude, like, doing push-ups, I feel like it'll make you stronger, at actually pushing weight.
Yeah.
So
I've been adding my dumbbells in too. You're a dad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a dad.
Yes, sir.
Life is changing.
It is.
And it's amazing.
It is.
Like, I really thought a few years down the road that I was literally going to live my life in a tour bus and die either in a hotel room or a tour bus, and my obituary would read, he was a good roadie.
And I never thought I'd be on the tour bus.
And you never thought it. And I never thought that I would be in this situation with us having this awesome conversation about working out and all this stuff. But the other side to it is looking at the future with kids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 30-pound little ham inside that is already so strong. Mm-hmm. All I'm looking at is, in about 10 years, that kid's going to put me through the ringer.
Yep.
If I don't keep and maintain at least the bare minimum of where I am at now, that kid's going to blow through me.
And that's my goal. I need to be doing what I'm doing right now when I'm 60.
Exactly.
So, like, that's always a goal. Like, I got some clients, too. They're, like, I'm talking about, like, I got some clients that are, like, in the 50s, And I'm like, they don't know sometimes that they're inspiration to me.
100%.
I have them doing certain things. I'm like, dang, I know like several people that are in your age bracket that cannot do this. Like
100%.
And I'm like, you're an inspiration to me, because like when I get to that spot, I need to be moving the same way. So like
100%.
So like that's always a big, kicker to me when I'm like doing things and, getting to see people or work with different people, especially like that are a little bit older than me. It's always like an inspiration to me to like kind of continue to do what I'm doing, to try to strive to stay healthy and be able to move as best as I can when I'm that age, because I got kids, that are this age, and I want to be able to still run around with them when they get to that age,
and they're going to put you through the running around phase. That is also part to life, is if you're not surrounding yourself by people that are inspiring you, whether it be friends or clients or acquaintances, or you're messing up right there, because you daily inspiration's big.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're getting it from, your kids or your clients or even, what you're reading.
Mm-hmm.
It's big, that plays in your mental health. Because if you're not looking at your kids saying, in 20 years, I want to play with you, then there's something wrong with you. I mean, I can't say it any other way. Like, you can argue it all day with me, but if you're not looking at your kids and saying, I want to be healthy for them and freaking change whatever I'm doing so I can make sure that their life is the best life possible.
Yes, sir.
Then don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's no argument there because that's the way I look at it. I wake up and I'm like, I don't wake up at 4:30 to try to get a 6-pack so then I could go put myself out on the internet. No, I wake up at 4:30 so I can do the push-ups. So that way when my little guy wants to, put me through, wants me to hold him for, whatever time or run outside with him or pick him up, I can all day long.
Yep.
No problem.
Whatever you do in the gym should amplify whatever you do out of the gym.
Yeah.
Times 10. So.
Well, I love your mindset.
I kind of, I didn't say it correctly, but I kind of stole that little tidbit from a guy named Gunnar Peterson.
Okay.
But kind of recently got introduced to him, and but yeah, he's a good guy, older guy, trainer, been training for a long time. But yeah, that kind of stuck with me when I heard him say that. Anything you do in the gym should amplify what you're doing outside of the gym times 10. So that's always the biggest thing. If I'm loading some weight up on your back, you should be able to easily squat down and sit on the toilet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah.
I dig that, man. I think the program that you're running over at Grit and Hustle, it speaks volumes to who you are as a father, who you are as a friend, who you are as a person, because you're looking out for people not just on a monetary value to yourself. You're looking at them because they inspire you.
Yeah.
For one, you're giving back to the community because you're making the community fitter. Hopefully that then in turn, because if you can show one client how to eat healthy, and then they can show their friend or their children,
trickle down.
It is the best pyramid out there. This is not a pyramid scheme. This is a pyramid win.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
things like that are giant.
I don't have to work with everybody.
Nah.
But if I can touch one person that's going to touch the next person,
yeah,
then I'll take that win every single day.
And that's what my wife and I talk about that on the show. It's look, are we thinking that every single person's going to look at this BetterHelp sign and go and sign up? No. But I guarantee you there's one or two people that have looked at it and said, I'm gonna look into that because I want to be better. And that's what this episode is about. This isn't about getting all the B&B listeners to be like, I'm signing up at Wilson's gym tomorrow. This is about saying, you know what? I've been thinking about that change. How can I spark that change?
Yep.
And it starts with little movements. Walking.
Yep. There you go.
Nutrition.
Walk, baby. Walk.
Man, dude, I honestly, we're an hour and 7 minutes into this thing. I told you it was gonna fly by.
I know.
I really, 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 really love what you're doing, man, here in Nashville. And being a Nashville native, giving back to your children, to your wife, to your family, to, the community. I mean, it speaks volumes, like I said a few minutes ago. And
I appreciate it, man.
I love having you on.
I love just being here because, this is my first time doing one of these deals.
You did great, man.
So, yeah.
It's a little nervous at first, right?
A little nervous.
But you kicked in, right?
Hey.
I told you the first 10 minutes. It's always the first 10 minutes. It seemed like forever, and then all of a sudden, boom, hour in.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. It goes by quick. But this has been a great,
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that we didn't even get to. I mean, there's a laundry list of things that you have.
I got some things that
you do, and I think that's the beauty behind. Once you start down a path of changing yourself, like you said, maybe you change yourself physically first. Yeah. Then all of a sudden your mental health gets a little better, or vice versa. Maybe you change your mental health, and then you're like, maybe I'll change my physical health. But I think then all of a sudden you get the growth, and then you're like, you know what? I've always wanted to kind of get into this too, and then you find yourself doing really, really cool things. So, maybe next episode, I would love to come to the gym personally see it.
Let's do it.
And do the interview there. But I would love to have you on.
Yeah.
Maybe let's shoot for, post January so we can talk about how you can see how chubby I get.
You'll be all right. Moderation. But yeah, let's do it. Come out to the gym, man. You know, I just kind of like, I know we kind of talked about it. We went kind of back and forth with it.
And just had that little baby girl.
Yeah, I was like, with the baby, you know, like, I just had one, but I was like, mine's a little bit older than yours right now. So I was like, I can come to you, you know, so.
And I really, really appreciate that. And so I would love to, if you would have the show out there, then we can, you know, then we can dive into a little more of, you know, whatever, like the road talk, and you can tell some funny stories about, you know, because look, you have been a lived man, and you are continuing to live an awesome life. Man. So I would love to make you a multi-time guest.
Hey, I never would have thought, you know, in a million years that my life would kind of go the way it has. Yeah. You know, you kind of envision things and see things like, all right, you want to get married, you want kids, you want like a family, you know, and do that. But like kind of like from playing ball, you know, you kind of see yourself, you know, all right, I want to be a success at life, but like, you know, where do I take it? Which direction, you know, you go? Even like within the sense of, you know, getting married and, you know, like, all right, I want to get married, but like, hey, like, you know, how do you get there? You know, like, so how do you
get there? How do you maintain it?
Yeah,
how do you,
exactly. It's a lot within that, you know, just within
that's
that.
a workout daily too.
Oh, yeah.
Some days I feel like I have like 10 workouts.
It's work. Marriage, I feel like, even with talking about that, you know, like marriage is it's work every day.
100%. If you're not putting work into yourself, into your marriage, if you're not putting work in, if you're not grit and hustling it, hey. I mean, I'm just gonna use I'm looking at the shirt.
I mean, this is the thing, dude. Like, it was crazy too how that came about. You know, I had like I said, I write things down, so I had all these different things written down in my little pad that I had. You know, and I'm like, man, it started off as hustle and grit, and then I was looking for that domain, and that domain was a ridiculous price. So my father-in-law was like, just spinning it around.
Yeah.
And it was like grit and hustle. And I was like,
kind of like that.
Yeah. And then I found that domain for super cheap. And I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go.
Well, I dig it, man. It's a great mentality to have. It's a great, you know, gym name. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anything that has the word hustle in it, I dig it. So I appreciate you coming out here and spending your Saturday morning. Like I said, we'll do this again.
January, let's get it scheduled.
Let's do this again. You brought us some awesome Liquid Death.
Liquid Death.
We got some Liquid IV. We got BetterHelp. We got all the stuff.
Everything.
Everything today.
We're trying to make you better in life.
Honestly, you know what? It really is. Looking at this table.
Yeah.
I always thought that I'd have like a tequila up here. that helps you every once in a while.
Like I said, life changes, time shifts, you know?
Well, dude, all right. Well, we're going to call this, and I freaking love you, Wilson. Thanks for coming out, man. Here, cheers and bottoms up. Let's,
yes, sir.
Y'all have a wonderful week.